her, Fannie Hamer. And this is a shame because this woman was vital in the civil rights movement. Hey, I heard about Martin Luther King. He just went marching in the rain. She marches, she got people gathered around her. And look at her dignified. You understand what I'm saying? A strong black woman. They don't want you to see the examples of how great you are, of how much successful you are, or how much power you really have. Now, this woman, Fannie Hamer, she was born Fannie Lou Townsend on October 6, 1917, and she was taken from us March 14, 1977. She was an American voting rights activist and a civil rights leader. Now, this woman was so powerful, she commanded the attention of President Johnson. But I'm going to get to that. So now the thing about it is that this woman, you know, so we have to respect the power of women because women are powerful. And without disrespect for women, we will never be able to get it together as a community. We will never be able to get it together as a people if we don't respect the power of women and what they have done. And not just Harriet Tubman, and not just Rosa Parks, and not just the ones that they tell us about, these women who actually put their life on the line for us. Because this woman, Fannie Hamer, put her life on the line for us as well. She was instrumental in organizing the Mississippi Freedom Summer for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, which is SNCC. SNCC was really called Martin Luther King and them, that was the student protest group. And later became the vice chair of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. Her plain-spoken manner and fervent belief in biblical righteousness of her cause gained her a reputation as an electrifying speaker and a constant activist of civil rights. On August 23, 1962, Reverend James Bevel, an organizer for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, and an associate of Dr. Martin Luther King, gave a sermon in Louisville, Mississippi, and followed with an appeal to those assembled to register to vote. Black people who registered to vote in the South faced serious hardships at this time due to institutionalized racism, including harassment, the loss of their jobs, physical beatings, and lynchings. Nonetheless, Hamer was the first volunteer. She later said, "I guess if I had any sense, I'd have been a little scared. But what was the point of being scared? The only thing they could do was kill me." And it seemed they've been trying to do that a little bit at a time since I could remember. On August 31st, she traveled on a rented bus with other attendees of Bevel's sermon to Indianola, Mississippi to register and will become a signature trait of Hamer's activist career. She began to sing Christian hymns such as "Go Tell It on the Mountain" and "This Little Light of Mine," to the group in order to bolster their resolve. The hymns also reflect that Hamer's belief in the civil rights struggle was a deeply spiritual one. On June 9, 1963, Hamer was on her way back from Charleston, South Carolina, with other activists from a literacy workshop stopping in Winona, Mississippi. The group was arrested on a false charge and jailed. Once jailed, Hamer and her colleagues were beaten savagely by the police, almost to the point of death. Released on June 12th, she needed more than a month to recover. Though the incident had profound physical and psychological effects, Hamer returned to Mississippi to organize voter registration drives, including the Freedom Ballot Campaign. She held a mock election in 1963 and the Freedom Summer Initiative in 1964. Ms. Hamer incited so much inspiration into her people that it brought the attention and fear of President Johnson, who then dispatched 7 trusted Democratic operatives to attempt to negotiate with Ms. Hamer, including Senator Hubert Humphrey, who was campaigning for vice president nomination. Walter Mondale and Walter Butler, as well as J. Edgar Hoover, they suggested a compromise which would give the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party 2 non-voting seats in exchange for other concessions and secure the endorsement of Martin Luther King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference for the plan. But when Humphrey outlined the compromise, saying that his position on the ticket was at stake, meaning that he didn't want to go along with the plan, he didn't want to give them the 2 seats because it would make him look bad to his voting committee, but he was from. This is what Fannie Hamer said to him. She said, "Do you mean to tell me that your position is more important than the 400,000 black people's lives, Senator Humphrey? I know lots of people in Mississippi who have lost their jobs trying to register to vote. I had to leave the plantation while I worked in the Sunflower County, Mississippi. Now, if you lose this job of vice president because you do what is right, because you help the MFDP, everything will be all right. God will take care of you. But if you take the nomination this way, Why you will never be able to do any good for civil rights, for poor people, for peace, or any of those things you talk about. Senator Humphrey, I'm going to pray to Jesus for you. So this is what she told this senator, you know what I'm saying, about you know what I'm saying, him not backing out of trying to help the civil rights movement. This woman wasn't afraid. This woman she was a strong woman. After they beat her, when the police beat her, they beat her savagely. If you can see, if you ever heard this thing called Eyes on the Prize, this documentary they have a talk of the account when they beat her. And they beat her with billy clubs, and as a matter of fact, they made a black man in another cell beat her. And they made him beat her because they were going to beat him. And she didn't even blame the black man for beating because she knew what they were going to do to him because what they were already doing to her. So this is the struggle. These are the things that black women have accomplished.